Hey everyone, welcome back to Money Boss. And today we have yet another play to earn NFT game, which at this stage, you know the drill. But the real reason why we want to do this video is we think this game has a good potential to have a really good ROI if you are an early adopter. With a lot of these games, especially ones like this upcoming game, Space Game, and even the previous ones that we talked about, Polyfarm, we actually missed dropping the video on Troll Game. We were going to, but the reality was it was too far past the point to make a good return. And so as a result, we chose not to load out that video because otherwise we'd be giving you the wrong information. With this, we want to give you these games while there's still a chance to come in early enough to make profit so that you are not carrying the bag. You are not someone else's exit liquidity. So with Space Game, we still have a couple of weeks. Whitelist is still open. There's over 1,000. We're going to go deeper into that. But here's why we think this is going to be a really interesting game to look at is because it carries the exact same tokenomics and fundamentals as Wolf Game, as well as some of the other games we've seen recently that have launched and done well, like Troll Game. That said, I'm going to preface all of this with, for us, this is a game that we are going to enter into. We're going to do it early. We're going to do it during whitelist. We are going to stack up as many NFTs as we can within a 2 to 4 day period and then liquidate. Because for us, that is the quickest way to gain a high ROI. I'll be very blunt. We did that with Troll Game. We're up a 10x and beyond, a little bit more than that. With certain games like Polyfarm, in those cases, we see long-term potential. I don't see that with the tokenomics of Space Game, and I'm going to preface all that with, I see this as a short-term game, not a long-term thing. Now, with all that said, let's dive a little bit further into this before I give you, all the negatives of us going into selling this. But I'm going to walk you through our strategy for how we're going to be approaching this, so you can figure out what makes the most sense for you as well. So, Space Game, just like any of these other games, Wolf Game or otherwise, it is a game-based NFT with two core NFTs, Marines and Aliens. Marines are the majority, Aliens are the minority. If you hold either, you can generate this token called ores. And as a result of using ores, you can mint more, you can sell off your ores. That's how you make your money. So you have your Marines, which earn 10,000 ores a day. This is the main reason why we're not seeing this as a long term. Most games outside of Wolf Game and Scholars and maybe one other that has this high level of token output, very few of them make it. The ones that have you can count them on one hand. And it's because the number of tokens generated per day means that everyone is going to be very hyped when the token releases because it's going to be very expensive. And almost immediately, it is going to drop off a cliff and everybody's going to get FOMO the opposite of FOMO. They're going to get scared and they're going to drop out of the game rapidly. We've seen that with every single game. We've seen that with Troll Game. We've seen it with all these other games. It's just how life is. So that's why we see it as a short-term game. Doesn't mean that it couldn't completely surprise us, which is why we want to get in early. But you hold a Marine, you earn 10k ores. You hold an Alien, you get 20% of all the ores. In this case, you actually get it from staked Marines, which I found kind of interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how those tokenomics work. But basically, just like these other games, there is a maximum limit of ore, which is 4 billion. And given that there are over 28,000 NFTs, 27 or 28,000 NFTs that are going to be minted, it's not a lot. This game is going to move right into whatever their version 2 or next tier, next iteration of the game very rapidly. We see a lot of these games move into it in a matter of days, up to a couple of weeks. And I expect the same here. In terms of the way that they're going to run, let me actually switch over to the Medium post here. This goes a little bit deeper into how they're differentiating themselves. And there are some interesting differentiators, which I really want to see how they play out, which is, again, why we're getting in early. And if you are going to jump in, I also would say you want to get in early. We're going to talk about the Discord and how to do that in a second. But the way that the game's laid out, they have a really interesting way that they are going to be doing the minting process to ensure that they are limiting the number of exploits. One of the biggest ones almost everybody in this space of Wolf Game and Wizards and otherwise know of is the exploit for only minting the higher tier NFTs that steal the coins, and as a result, those are highly tradable, high value NFTs. So with those, what they're doing is actually something really interesting, which is they're doing this crate process. So you're going to mint, and then once the minting is done, rather than actually getting your NFT right away, they're going to do a snapshot and airdrop your mints. And so that way, you still get your NFT, but it's going to eliminate any minting exploits that exist, because I'm sure what really happens is all these devs think that they fixed the issue. Reality is everyone can figure out some way to exploit, even if you've fixed as much of the exploits as you think you humanly can. And so this is their easy way to mitigate. They say it's going to help with gas and otherwise, but I mean, this is on Polygon. We're talking maybe $1 for gas if you go absolutely crazy. So that's really the main thing, is to eliminate someone trying to game the system. But in terms of the numbers of NFTs, like I said, there's about 28,000 total. I think they have the number up here, but there's 6,900 initial mints at quite a hefty, and I can't remember where they put in here. Yeah, right here, quite a hefty 0.55 Ethereum, which I do find kind of high for these types of games. Pretty normal for games based on the Ethereum platform and Ethereum network. Not so common for ones that are based on Polygon. Public sale moving up to 0.05 Ethereum, which is also kind of interesting. So they have 2,000 whitelist spots, 2,300. I have a feeling they expect not to hit that, which is why there's that pretty drastic jump. But also to maintain the potential for whitelisters to not have to deal with a dropping floor quite quickly. But effectively, because they have 2,300 whitelisters, 3 mints each, I think they do expect that it's going to sell out. And then there's 21,000 mints that'll occur using ore immediately afterwards. So I do expect, even with these limitations of 3, there are going to be folks who will jump in there and then jump in aggressively during public mint or use multiple wallets and whitelist multiple wallets. So I'm sure there's going to be some folks that will come into whale status within this game pretty rapidly, same as other ones we've seen as well. Nothing different there. But it is kind of an interesting game. And, as I said, our strategy is we want to get in on whitelist. We are aiming on whitelisting on a couple of wallets. To be very, very transparent, we do have a couple of folks on our team. Each one has a Discord account. So we're going to be getting a whitelist spot for every single person on our team. And then we plan on minting, holding for a period of time, really until we see some level of stability for a day or so, at which point we'll make the decision to either hold on to a portion and exit a portion, or just completely exit the game. And I do recommend, if this game is something that you want to look into, it's a strategy we like. It's a strategy we've used over and over. So I recommend you consider it at least, because it is kind of an interesting way of approaching this. It allows you to make sure that you have your initial investment out of the game very rapidly, and you're able to then either play with house money if you want to take the gamble, or you just get a nice return. For us, very often, we get a 2 to 5 times return very rapidly on these games, especially given the price of the coin tends to be stable high at the start. So with all that said, we looked into at least the community and things on here. So far, it does look very good. The Twitter audience is not the most engaged by any means. It does look like they've bought some followers to start, but there is some decent engagement as you go into some of their core things like their giveaways. So not a bad audience. Obviously, it looks like it's all real. And then into their Discord. Their Discord does look pretty decent. It does look like they have some good engaged fans. There's not any extremely toxic people in their Discord, which is nice. But in terms of the whitelist, which I think is what everybody's worried about and everybody wants to know about, the way their whitelist works up here is you can either reach level 10 by just grinding it out in their Discord, and it's not the hardest thing in the world, a couple hours high end, or you can just invite 10 friends to obtain a founding marine roll, and that way you're able to mint and get 3 spots at their new mint price, 0.055. So really, that's the game. I think it has good potential, just like some of the others did, just like Troll Game did, just like Polyfarm has still, even going into season 2. Just like the big boys that we all know about, Wolf Game and otherwise do. I think there's still some good potential. I'll further specify by saying this isn't a sponsored video. This is just a game that we're going to be getting into because I think it's going to be a good play. So it is something that I'd say you should check out. Take a look. There's going to be a link below, obviously, so you can go ahead and join. Don't worry, we've already reached our invite, so don't be freaked out and say, hey, they're just using me for invites. We've already reached whitelist on the account that we're going to be sending the invite link from. So it's just up to you whether you want to look into it and whether this is a good fit for you and your strategy. I already rolled out ours that explained to you exactly how we're going to make it work, but it is something that's kind of interesting. I am really loving these Polygon play to earn games because there is a lot more potential for profit when you're not forking over as much profit as you otherwise pull out as gas. So this is one that I think you should give a check out, see if it makes sense for you. And if you like, obviously feel free to steal our strategy. It's worked very, very well for us with these games. But definitely let me know down below if there's any other games you think we should be checking out, any other NFTs you think we should be checking out, and we're happy to go through and do our due diligence and do our reviews and do a video like this as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and definitely if you do join the Space Game Discord and you think this is going to be a good fit for your way of investing and playing with NFTs, by all means, give us a shout out in the general chat. And if one of our team is around, they'll ping you and give you a thanks for that. But otherwise, look forward to another video on another NFT game coming up soon, and I hope you enjoy.